Hello and welcome, I'm Mystical, this is Mystical Gaming, and today we're having a look at the Infernal Roar set, okay? So we're just going to go where you get it from and where you should wear it, who should wear it, and when you should wear it, that sort of thing. So I'll sort of break it down into bit by bit. I'm going to start off with where you actually get the set from, okay? So the Infernal Roar set, that's what we're actually after, and where do we get it from? Right, let's jump in and have a quick look at the game and see where we actually get this stuff from then. So if we come into our gear aids, we'll see here gear aid 3, and if we jump into gear aid 3 we can see we actually start getting it down here, and I'm a little bit in the way, we can just see it there, we start getting it from stage 19, directly we get it from stage 19. However, we can actually start picking it up, sort of, from raid stage 14, so here is the insight set. Now, if you start picking that up at stage 14, when you've cleared gear raids 1, 2 and 3, at stage 18, then the forge is open to you. When we have a look at the forge, we can ascend pieces of kit. So when we come over to ascend, we can go to our filter here, and then we can select our 3-piece set, and we can select the insight set. Now this will allow us to ascend certain pieces of the insight set, and then we can ascend them to Infernal Roar pieces. Okay, so when you first start getting onto stage 14 of gear aid 3, that's when you first want to think, well actually now I'm going to get future pieces for Infernal Roar, so you can start saving them up there. Now the difference between these ones here that glow a nice big red colour and these ones here that are a dull red colour is the fact that the ones that are a dull red colour, try and get this the right way around, don't have such a high chance of rolling well. That's probably the best way to put it. So when you see the bright red colour, that's an ancient piece, and that will generically roll better than something that's a dull red colour. Now, either of them can be ascended once we're at level 16. The difference then becomes the materials required. So before you get an ancient, it is just the Enchantress's Spirit, and you need 200 of them, each one that you wish to actually ascend. If it's an ancient piece, you also need the Eternal Bullion, and you'll need 5 of those per piece that you wish to enchant over. But at stages 14, keep an eye out for the insight set. Now, what you'll want to do is come over to your recommendation settings, because it will already be automatically set for you. You can add a rule, and you can just come down here and say, well, I want the insight set, I want to have attack rate on it, or I want crit damage set on it for the main stat, and I want crit rate. Okay, and then you can come down and you can add that rule, and it will give you a thumbs up icon of all the pieces that are insight that have attack percentage or crit damage as a main stat, and then crit rate as a substat, and you can start from there. I mean, you may fast grow out of these sets, but if you keep all of those, the likelihood is you may get some pieces that are actually quite good. And if you roll them up, don't roll them up all the way, it gets very expensive very quickly, but you can roll them up to sort of 8, see if they're rolling good rolls for you, so sort of the purple stats, particularly in the stats that you want, like crit rate, and if it's got some other nice ones on there like attack speed, the other one of the main stat that you haven't picked, that sort of thing, then you may wish to consider keeping it, and that can be the start of you actually progressing your gear forward, going forward into the game. So this is where we get it from. Okay, so we get it directly from gear raid number 3, stage 19. We can collect the ascension items from stages 14 onwards, and it also drops from gear dungeons 1 and 2, stages 3 and above. Okay, so gear dungeons Gear Dungeon 1 and Gear Dungeon 2, Stage 3 and above also drop Infernal Roar sets as well. Okay, so that's where we get it from. Now, we've gone over where we get it from. Next thing we want to have a look at is who do we put it on. Now, let's have a look at what the set does, and then we can expand out from there over who we actually want to put it on. Okay, so the set actually, so here we are, here's my Silas, and he's an Infernal Roar set. Okay, so the Infernal Roar, basic attack plus 40%, that's what it does. Now let's not get confused here, that's not attack that it's increasing by 40%, it's just your basic attack damage. Now, what does that actually mean? So when you come over to a hero's skills, all the heroes, you look down on their skills, the first skill you click on here, a little grayed out box, and it says basic attack. There's the basic attack, and that is the bit that's getting increased by 40%. You'll get an extra increase on that basic attack by 40%. Now, the next thing to think about is, do the rest of this hero's skills augment and improve that basic attack? Or is their ultimate, for example, different, a separate attack to their basic attack? Now, this is what you want to think about, okay? Now, you can either read all the hero's skills and make a judgment call for you, or we have Volker. Now, Volker is really important for Infernal Roar sets, okay? The reason is, she has a skill here, a passive. This is her passive here. Now, when we read that, each basic attack launched by the hero restores 7% HP. Now, the second part of this, and each basic attack launched by allies restores 2% HP. So every time an ally does a basic attack while she's on the field, they will heal themselves. This is the same as Infernal Roar. Infernal Roar affects a basic attack. This is doing a heal off the basic attack. So any attacks anyone does with Volker on the field will heal from their basic attack. So you can get a visual representation of actually if the Infernal Roar set would work on that hero. Okay, let's go and try some out and I'll show you what I mean. Right, so this is the sort of thing you want to do. We've picked up a nice easy fight. We've gone into the guild boss, and I think it's normal or something like that. It's very low level. We've picked up our heroes and we've picked up Volker. Volker's the important one. And then the heroes we want to test. So we can just go into a play test, not going to cost us anything, and we can just check out what's actually going to happen. And we can get this visual representation of whether they're being used as a basic attack. Right, let's skip this and we can jump in. So let's start off with our Silas. There he goes. He's attacking the boss away and he's doing some damage. That's fine. Now, if we put Volker down, we'll see on those basic attacks, now that he's healing himself, we can clearly see he's healing himself. And then if we trigger off his ultimate, so you can see just behind me, he's almost ready for his ultimate. We trigger off his ultimate, and now we can see during his ultimate, he's healing himself. So his ultimate would also benefit from the Infernal Roar set. So let's get rid of you and we'll try someone else. Let's try Hattie. We can put Hat down and there we can go. We can see she's firing away. There's a basic attack and she is getting lots of heals. If we trigger off her ultimate, no heals at all. Her ultimate does not count as part of her basic attack. That will not benefit at all on the Infernal Roar set. Now, Xena, let's put Xena down. She goes straight into her ultimate. So place her down, she does a little welcoming thing, and then she goes straight into her ultimate. Boom, there she is. She's healing up straight away. So we know that she would benefit from an Infernal Roar set. She would get that 40% straight away. And you can do this with any hero you like. Just down here, it is so easy to do. So Valk, another classic hero. There we go. Basic attacks, and there she is healing away. Trigger off her ultimate. You see her do, she does a little spin and then she goes into it and she's healing away. She's healing for a bit more now. That's fine. So there we go. Volker, or Valk, absolutely brilliant. She can be used in Infernal Roar set as well. So Athena, nice single target damage dealer. Placing them down. There she is. She is doing a basic attack. She's getting healed. That's all well and good. And then if we trigger off her ultimate, we'll be able to see here. There we go. She's now doing her ultimate. No healing. Her ultimate is a different attack, would not benefit from the Infernal Roar set. So this is a nice way that you can check if your hero would benefit and what skills and passives will benefit from them being in an Infernal Roar set. So a really good way to give you a nice visual representation over what's happening and if the Infernal Roar set would work with them. Okay, right, let's move on and have a look at a couple of other things with the set. Back in the Infernal Roar set. Now, what else do we want to have a look at? We want to use it when we're going to use it, okay? So there's a fair question to be stated that the Infernal Roar set does 40% extra damage to your basic attack. And the question is, well, why don't I use Soulbound Arcana then? Because Soulbound Arcana is going to give me 50% and it's going to get it all the time and I've got to worry about that sort of thing. And that's a very fair question to ask yourself. But the Infernal Roar set can do other things for you and it's when it's used. So here we go. This is one of the places that you really want to consider using Infernal Roar set. Okay, it's not the only place. It's a really good example, and it's because we want burst damage. We've got time to wait for other ultimates or other people to come along. We can put her down. She's getting that 40% straight off the bat, and you just want to burst someone down. There she is, gone. Okay, that is why you want to consider using it. It's not only here. There's other places like Gear Dungeon 1. Again, that's Val. She's up on that top, and you want her to nuke someone down straight away. Your first person out in arena, whoever that may be. You haven't got time to wait for other ultimates to come online, that sort of thing. You want to burst someone down, so that's another good position to use it. It works better if you can check that they are going to get it off their ultimate as well. That's going to help you out. Essentially, you just want to make sure that you are going to get burst damage straight away. It is coming in helpful when we look at other things such as the new faction trials and other bits of the game like that. So arena, faction trials are very good places for it before you sort of build up other teams. Gear dungeons it's been used in as well. When you place someone down, you want them to nuke straight away, so again you've got that going on as well. These are the sort of places you want to consider. Anywhere where you put someone down to start with and you want to burst a bit of damage, then the Infernal Roar set should be your sort of go-to. And if you can check that champion out, make sure that they can actually get use out of their ultimate as well, or their ultimate enhances their basic attack, then you're on to an absolute winner, okay? But also make sure you actually check, some people have got passives as well, which don't actually work, but do a full run and have a check of all the skills that you want that hero to use against someone with a Volker present, and then you can have your visual representation of what's actually happening, okay? So that's it, a quick little guide for the Infernal Roar set for you, okay? So we've gone over everything to do with the Infernal Roar set, okay? You now know where you get it from and when you can save up if you're a beginner player, that sort of thing. You know who you should be wearing it on, go in with Volker, have a quick check, visual representation, if they're healing, all is good. That's their basic attack being enhanced. When you should use it, you want to use it if you want that burst bit of damage, okay? So that's the Infernal Roar set. I hope that clarifies everything for you. Any questions, put them in the comments below. If you want some other gear sets done, again, in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the video again soon. Thank you very much for your time, and if on the way out you give the old thumbs up, like and subscribe would help me out massively. Thank you very much. Cheers. I'll see you again soon. Cheers. Goodbye.